Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be ranking the top 5 worst purchases that I've ever made so far in my life. Maybe, who knows, at some point I'm gonna do a part 2 of this video, but for now, this is the top 5 worst purchases that I've ever made in my life. Starting with this book. Now, you may be asking yourself, why is a book one of the worst purchases that you've ever made? Well, I'm gonna tell you, because you may not know, you may know, I don't know, but I live in Italy. I'm not Italian, as you probably know by my name, and I don't speak the language. So the one of the first few weeks that I got here, I was like, okay, I should learn the language, and I was like, okay, maybe I should buy a book. And I got this off of a street vendor on the street. It was like €1. It was super cheap. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a book and then I'm gonna read the book and then I'm gonna learn the language basically. But once I started to read it, I realized that I'm too lazy for reading a book. I'm like too impulsive with buying stuff. So I just got the book, threw it back there and never picked it up again. So it was one of the worst purchases, but it's not at number one because it wasn't that expensive and it was just, as I said, just €1. So I was like, okay, it's not that bad. That brings us to number two. So I feel like I probably should explain how this stuff works, how the ranking works. The ranking is based on the amount of money that I paid for the item, my financial situation at that time, and have I ever used it going forward? Have I ever used that item later in my course of life, So that's why the other book, it was like, because it wasn't that expensive, it comes in at number 5. Number 4, as you may have seen my previous videos, I've got like 2 videos uploaded on this channel. I was on a crazy weight loss journey. I've actually lost like 10 kilos at that point, but then I got lazy again and I didn't complete the challenge. And I was a couch potato basically. I was just rotting on my own bed, going to work and going to university, coming back, not doing any exercise and stuff. So once again, I got this urge to go do something, to buy something, to go exercise. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna sign up for a gym and I'm gonna go buy some equipment for the gym. And bear in mind, I wasn't in a very good financial situation at that time. So I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. You're gonna go to the gym. It's gonna be great. You're gonna pick yourself up and blah, 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 blah. I got some equipment. I think this simple bottle is just nothing crazy. It's like just a bottle, plastic cap and stuff. And opens like this. It's really, really simple. Should be like €2, right? I think I got this for like 10 or 12 euros. And at that time I was like, okay, it's expensive a little bit, but you need it, because I recently broke my other bottle. I had a really nice Gymshark bottle that I got from like a sale on the Black Friday sale or something like that. And then I got this and literally I just used it once. I went to the gym once. After that, like, surge in my brain, no, you should go exercise, you should go exercise. I just went to the gym once and then I used this and that was it. I've never used it again. Literally, I just put it on my desk as like a decor item. It's fucking ugly as well, but it was so funny. I mean, let me actually. Oh my god! It smells horrific. It smells like death because it's been sitting there. I haven't opened it actually. It's been sitting there. I think I should throw it away. It smells so fucking horrible. So yeah. Based on my financial situation and the amount of time that I use that bottle, it's coming at number 4. If I would give it like a number, like a fail number out of 10, I would give it like a 4 out of 10. Coming up at number 3, this is the Manscaped ball deodorant. It's written crop preserver, if you want to be more specific. I just got this because I've seen so many adverts on YouTube, on Instagram, on everything. It was so crazy. It was everywhere in my face. Ba, 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 Manscaped, Manscaped, Manscaped. your balls should smell amazing. And the funny thing is that at that time, I didn't even have a girlfriend or anything, and I'm not like that kind of super confident guy who goes out, talks to girls, picks up girls, and goes home with them like the other night. So I mean, I get it from a point of view. I wanted to smell nice, maybe a little bit of hygiene, but yeah, I think going to the shower more would have helped more than using a ball deodorant. And it was so funny as well because I don't live alone. I live with a roommate. So I live in a room and we're two guys just in the same room, and the whole apartment has another room with two other girls. So my roommate was like coming up on me and then still like seeing me taking up this cream, rubbing it on my balls. Not that he would saw my balls, obviously, but every time I was like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? I was like, yeah, I'm putting some crop preserver ball deodorant from Manscaped on my balls. And he looked at me so funny every time. He was like, but why? Why do you do that? And this shit was expensive as well. I got it off Amazon for, I don't know how much was it, but I think it was like, I don't know, $15, $20. I don't remember, but I think it's expensive for a tiny little bottle. But to be fair, I've used it a fair amount, but I've never really gotten that much joy out of it. Granted, I've never, after I've got this, my sex life, oof, thrown out of the window. So maybe this was the curse. Maybe after I got this, I got cursed. So I should get rid of it somehow. Who knows? Who knows? Manscaped, you gotta fix your shit. So if I wanted to give it a fail, like out of 10, I would give it like a cool 5, 5, 6, 5.5. Let's go in the middle. 5.5 out of 10. Coming up at number 2, we have this jacket. Actually, let me go put it on. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on. You see, woo, looking fresh, looking cool. God damn, I look like a lumberjack though. Shit, it doesn't even fit anymore. I've gotten so fat over the years, doesn't even fit anymore. Yeah, so this actually has a kind of a funny story. Back when I was in my own country, I used to work in a shopping mall in a Geox store. It was like I think it's a really well-known brand. It's a shoe brand. They do even jackets and stuff. It's an Italian brand. I used to work there, and my monthly salary, my monthly wages were awful. It was like less than $100 a month. But in my country, that was like a decent amount of cash. So, and at that time, I used to live with my parents, so I didn't really need money to eat, pay rent and stuff. So I could have just bought anything that I wanted. At that time, there was some other girl that started working there for like, well, she lasted there for like 2 weeks, but at that time I didn't know that she was gonna last there for 2 weeks. And we started talking, we started hitting off, and I never got to the point that I get her number. And she actually suggested that I go get this jacket because she thought it would look cute on me, even though I never wear red, and I don't like this pattern, man. I hate it. And then I was like, okay, maybe if I go get this jacket or something, maybe, because this jacket, this one thing was like my whole monthly wage. So I was like, maybe if I get this, she'll think like, damn, that guy doesn't care. He's some kind of rich person. He literally doesn't care about his monthly wages and stuff. But now that I think about it, it was so immature. It was so funny. Yeah, literally this day that I got this, she got fired out of that job. So I never got to speak to her again. And it was so funny. At that time, as I said, I've spent my whole monthly wage on this thing. Maybe used it 10 times overall in my whole like few years that I've got this. And this is a 7 out of 10 fail for me. Now, before we get to the top spot, I'm gonna do an honorable mention for this pill. So this is an antibiotic. It's called amoxicillin. I got it from my own country. Granted, it's really cheap. I think in European money, in euros or dollars, I think it's less than $1 for like the whole package. Yeah, so I have a sinus problem, like especially in winter, my sinuses get blocked. My nose is always blocked. I can't smell anything. It's terrible. I feel awful. I feel like shit. The one of the things that people recommend is just popping up an antibiotic, but I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to risk like my immune system getting worse. So I put it off. But then one time I was like, okay, I'm sick of this shit. And my nose is always blocked. I need to do something about it. Like, it's ridiculous for the whole winter and even maybe a little bit of fall for like 5 months, 4 months. My nose was always blocked. I couldn't smell anything. It was ridiculous. So I got sick of it. And as you can see, I just took one. Just took one pill. And then I found out that I'm allergic to this stuff. I didn't know. And it was crazy. My face started swelling. My hands started getting red. They started getting itchy. It was like my whole body was like projecting fire. It was so warm. I was like, okay, I got lucky that near my apartment, there's a really super cheap close hospital. I rushed to the hospital and I was like almost dying. I was under adrenaline shots. They gave me like 6 adrenaline shots because they wanted to check my pressure and couldn't find my pulse. It was horrendous. They took all my clothes off. They ripped them off, and they actually kept me in the hospital for the night. They wouldn't let me go, even though after a certain point I got better. But they wouldn't let me go because they thought it was too risky. At the end, I had to give them a line because I was so filled up. I was like, I need to go. I need to go home. The hospital bed is not really comfortable. So I told them like around like 8 a.m. I told them like, guys, look, I have a class and it's really important. The professor is gonna take an exam, so I need to leave. And then they made me sign a waiver or something. So if anything happens to me, if I leave, it's on me. And yeah, they left me. But yeah, it was funny because this is a type of antibiotic that like kids take. And I don't know why I was allergic, how I went on my whole life not knowing that I'm allergic to this stuff. This happened like literally 4 months ago. And it was not a welcome experience, but it was funny. Coming proudly at number 1 is this power bank. You may look like, wow, that's a cool power bank. It's big, it has a lot of power. I don't find the power. Oh yeah, capacity 20,000 milliamps, 74 watts an hour. So it's a really good power bank, but the thing is, at that time, again, as you can probably guess, my whole life, my financial situation is not really stable. So at that time, I was in a really low point. I needed to make money, so I signed up with like Glovo, which is like, if you live in America, which is like DoorDash and stuff, like Uber Eats and stuff. So I signed up with them to start making some deliveries, but my phone at that time was really horrible with keeping charging it. So I needed the power bank to charge my phone while I was riding my bike to go do deliveries. I got this for like 50 euros. At that time in my bank, I had like 60. So 90% of my bank account went for this. The moment I got it, I went to test it. I stepped foot out of the shop. It fell out of my hand and I broke it. So I never used it. And that was so heartbreaking. And I did my Glovo without charging my phone, which only made things worse. And yeah, it was like, I think 2 weeks of doing Glovo to get the money back for this, which wasn't really optimal, but we got there in the end. So to me, that's a really big fail. Like 50 euros out of 60, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 fail. So that's it though, guys, for today's video. If you've liked and enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe and like the video, and maybe put a comment in the comments, because that tells YouTube algorithm that to promote and push my videos to other people. Thank you for watching again, and I hope to see you soon in another video. Cheers.